A new star has debuted at a WWE house show. Also, WWE has some sort of a new legal issue going on. And yes, we are going to talk about a WWE main roster wrestler possibly moving down to NXT. And it's coming up right here on the Angle Show. All right, y'all, we're going to kick things off with WWE and this very interesting legal issue. Former WWE and ECW star Francine is not happy about WWE using Queen of the Extreme moniker. In the past, it's been used for Liv Morgan. She also stated on her podcast that she filed to own the moniker many months ago because she first started using it back when she worked for Paul Heyman's ECW. It was also noted that Corey Graves lately has been using that to refer to Lita as Queen of the Extreme during Monday Night Raw. She kind of explained the process of all this. She says she's been using it for over 25, 30 years. And basically, the result of this is that she has sent WWE a cease and desist because they are using this. Now, this isn't the first time that WWE has reportedly received a cease and desist, because it looks like WWE has also received one recently for the use of the Now, which is what they've been using to, they've been using that with Austin Theory lately, which is actually very interesting because Bayley also revealed in a recent interview with Ariel Helwani that was also a name that was being considered for Damage Control. However, the Now is actually a tag team name in the independent scene. So, and those guys have actually worked, I believe, from my knowledge, they've actually worked in WWE as like enhancement talent at one point or as extras. So nonetheless, WWE's been sent another cease and desist letter. What's going to actually come out of this, I don't really know, to be honest. This is a very interesting situation. Maybe WWE doesn't really do anything. Maybe nothing really comes out of this, but it is something to definitely pay attention to as time goes on. Guys, WWE has a main roster star potentially moving to NXT, and we are talking about Cedric Alexander. Now, this is very interesting for several reasons, but I'm going to tell you guys why I find this interesting. And it's because Cedric tweeted out that he is free on Tuesday nights, and he's never challenged for the NXT North American Championship. He also reached out on Twitter to Wes Lee, who currently holds the North American Championship. But you might be wondering, why is this actually interesting to you? And it's because WWE has been teasing the return of the Hurt Business, and I think that's kind of the issue here, is that WWE has been teasing it for a while now, and they haven't done anything with it. So you don't know if this is a situation literally where WWE may have decided to put it on hold, or if WWE has zero plans of actually reuniting the Hurt Business, or if this is something where Triple H and the WWE will reveal the Hurt Business, but at WrestleMania, or maybe the night after WrestleMania. We know that WWE is looking at making a big splash with WrestleMania season and even after WrestleMania. So my best guess is that Cedric Alexander probably isn't going to permanently move to NXT, but I can see WWE doing something where Cedric Alexander does go to NXT for a match. Maybe, we know Wesley's doing like these open challenges type thing. Maybe this is just a good way to do some cross promotion between the main roster and the NXT brand, which if that's the case, I actually am totally cool with. I think that's totally fine. I think a lot of people would be fine with that. Some people moved from the main roster to NXT, by the way, and they've had a pretty cool run. Like Apollo Crews is doing some great stuff in NXT. We saw what's happened with T-Bar. He's gone to NXT as Dijak. And there's obviously a lot of question marks there too, whether or not he's going to get a serious push or not, but they did the whole rebrand for him. So the idea of WWE putting main roster wrestlers in NXT is not a bad thing. Look at what they're doing with Jinder Mahal and Indus Sher. Way better than Jinder Mahal working with Shanky. So my point that I'm trying to make is moving down to NXT is not necessarily a demotion in my opinion. I think you could do a lot cooler stuff in NXT. And sometimes you could do a lot cooler stuff in the main roster too. But if I'm the WWE, I think my main focus has to be getting the Hurt Business together. And my best belief is that WWE has something super special planned for that. So we'll see how that goes. As far as Cedric and NXT, again, maybe it's a one-off. Maybe it's a couple-week thing at the very most. But the likelihood of this being something permanent, I just don't think that's the case. I think this is just a tweet. Maybe they're friendly. I don't know what that might be. But I don't want to speculate on any further on that. Very interesting. Very cool. Very the word that I want to use, it's like a very like dynamic choice, by the way, for WWE. And what I mean by that is like, if they do something with Cedric in NXT, it could be really, really successful. It really could. If they choose not to, Hurt Business could also be really, really successful. So, very cool stuff. All right, guys, WWE's Dragon Lee has finally made his debut. He made his debut at a WWE NXT live event this past weekend. So we saw him at Roadblock sitting in the crowd. We haven't seen him wrestle for the WWE. Now fans in attendance were in for a treat because Dragon Lee finally worked his first match for WWE, and this was a match against Carl Fredericks, who now goes by the name of Eddie Thorpe. And this is cool, man. A lot of people were talking very highly about this. WWE has reportedly some very big plans for Dragon Lee. The belief is that Dragon Lee is not going to be in NXT for that long. And also, what's really dope about this is that Dragon Lee is expected to go to the main roster by some point in 2024. But with that, WWE is also trying to make Dragon Lee the next big Mexican star, such as Eddie Guerrero, such as Rey Mysterio, and WWE really sees high hopes for Dragon Lee. So this is absolutely incredible news. A lot of people were saying that this match between him and Carl Fredericks was great. The reviews, the live attendance, a lot of people enjoyed it. But it just goes to show you that WWE is definitely a different company today than they were when before Triple H took over. Because Dragon Lee is somebody, we know Dragon Lee from his experience and the experience that he's had working for ROH or AAA, CMLL, like all of these companies, he's been able to do some really great stuff. And the big question mark was, how is Dragon Lee going to be different in WWE? And it just seems like WWE is going to allow Dragon Lee to be himself. He's being introduced as Dragon Lee. It's a really cool thing in my opinion. It just seems like they're really serious about this. And in the past, especially when WWE brings in an international talent, it just doesn't seem like they're serious about it. I think the best example was Mystico, a.k.a. Sin Cara. That was very, very annoying. That guy did not pan out in WWE, but also it was like mixed, right? WWE was kind of at fault, but also so was Mystico. So this is not even a comparison for me. I think Dragon Lee is so incredible. I think there's going to be a lot of big potential for him in the company. So I'm excited to see what happens, but obviously a lot of great talks and a lot of positive remarks after his match with Eddie Thorpe. So guys, that is today's news video. News is a little bit light, but that's okay. We keep on coming with the opinions and the news. And if you guys want more of them, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, ring that bell. This way you can never miss a video, and I'll see you next time.